Hello, we are going to see another example with large sample and two means. Let us see the example. In a survey of buying habits, 400 women shoppers are chosen at random in a supermarket A. Their average weekly food expenditure is 250 rupees with a standard deviation of 40 rupees. For 400 women shoppers chosen at random in some other supermarket B, the average food expenditure is 220 rupees with the standard deviation of 55 rupees. Do these two populations have similar shopping habits? Is the average weekly food expenditure of two populations of shoppers equal? Test at 5% level of significance. So let us first jot down what is all given to us in the question. So given we have two samples, sample A and sample B. So this is sample A and this is sample B. So we have been given average expenditure of these two populations. These two samples. So x bar is equals to food expenditure is 250, and for y bar food expenditure is 220, and the standard deviation is given as sigma x. Sigma x is equals to 40 rupees here, and we have 55 rupees. Sigma y is equals to sigma y is equals to 55, and the sample size, let us take this is n is equals to 400, sample 1, and this is m, this is also 400. Okay, so all the values like this have been given to you, and you're supposed to find out if the average weekly food expenditures of two populations of shoppers equal. Okay, so you're checking if two averages of the samples are equal. We are checking for the equality of means here, average food expenditure. They have also asked another question: do these two populations have similar shopping habits? So how do you know, how do you decide if the shopping habits are same? Based on their expenditure, isn't it? So based on the expenditure, if the mean values of expenditures are same, then we say they are equal, the shopping habits are more or less same. If not, they are not same, if they are not similar. How do you check that? So let us first, the first step is to write the null hypothesis. We say H naught, that the population averages are equal. There is no significant difference between the population averages of population food expenditures. Okay, so population food expenditure for this population X is equal to the average food expenditure of this population Y. There is no significant difference here. Okay, both of them are equal. Then if I write H1, mu of x is not equal to mu of y. That means there is a significant difference here. Okay, so how do you write? There is no significant difference here. There is a significant difference. Okay, so framing null hypothesis and framing alternate hypothesis is done. So there is no hard and fast rule to write the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis in a particular way, but then you have to solve the question that has been asked. Whatever null hypothesis you want to write, however you wanted to frame, you could frame, but the only thing is you have to either disprove or prove, either accept or reject the null hypothesis. That is the main aim when we are testing the hypothesis. Okay, now in the same step we have to decide if it is one tail test or two tail test. Okay, so now if you look at this particular symbol here, it is not equal to symbol. So if you remember the last video, I told you if it is greater than or equal to in the alternate hypothesis, then you use right tail test. If it is less than or equal to, you use left tail test. If it is not equal to, then we use a two tail test. Okay, so if it is not equal to, so then we have to use a two tail type of test is two tailed test. Okay, now this part is done. Now the next step is to identify the level of significance alpha. The level of significance here they have already given us. We don't have to assume 5%. They have asked us to test the hypothesis at 5% level of significance. So alpha is equals to 5%, which is equals to 0.05. So the critical region or the rejection region, the area of the rejection region is 0.05. The third step is to calculate the test statistics. So which formula should you use for this particular problem? So since it is a large sample, we have to draw a normal distribution curve. So let us see the formula, which formula could be used here. So if you see here, we have two samples x and y. We have two sample sizes z and m. We have two population variances sigma x and sigma y. Okay, so this is the exact formula that we should use. Okay, so let us write down the test statistic here. Z-cal is equals to x bar minus y bar by square root of sigma x square by n plus sigma I square by m. Let us substitute the values. X bar is 250 minus y bar is 220 by square root of, we have sigma, we don't have sigma square, so 40 into 40 by 400 plus 55 into 55 by 400. Let us calculate the value now. So this is 250 minus 220 by 40 into 40 by 400 plus 55 into 50 sorry, this is 55. So we get 8.8225. We get 8.8225. So the test statistic value has been calculated. Now the next step is to find out the critical value. So for that we have to draw a graph. So if you see, let us draw the standard deviation curve, standard normal curve. Okay, so this is the value which divides the entire graph into two equal halves. Now the rejection region, this area is 0.05 and it is a two tail test, so it should have two tails here. So we divide the alpha into two halves, 0.05 by 2, which is equals to 0.025. So alpha by 2 is equals to 0.05 by 2, which is equal to 0.025. So the area here, the rejection area here is 0.025 and here it is 0.025. Okay, now this entire region is 0.5. okay, and we have to deduct 0.025 from this value. So what do we get is 0.5 minus 0.025 is equals to 0.475. So we have to check which value is giving us 0.475. So where is 0.475 starting? 0.475 is starting here. Okay, 0.4750, exactly 0.475 is here. So if you see, okay, 0.475 is 50 is here, okay, exact value. So where are we getting this point? So 1.9, and if you see the vertical axis 0.06, so this is 1.96. so this point is 1.96. Same with the negative axis here, this is also 1.96. we don't have to calculate again because the normal distribution curve being a symmetrical curve, same values will correspond to the same values on the other hand also. So now, so this area in this side is the rejection area, and this area on this side of the curve is the rejection area, and this part, this entire part is the acceptance region. Okay, so this is rejection region or critical region, and this is also rejection region or critical region, because we are dividing the level of significance into two equal halves, because it is a two-tailed test. If it is a right-tailed test, then the alpha value will only be on the one side of the curve. Because it is two-tailed, we have to divide it into two equal halves. Now this entire region from here to here is the acceptance region. Okay, now 8.825, where will 8.825 fall? 8.825 is greater than, obviously greater than 1.96, right? So which side? And it is a positive value, it is not a negative value. Okay, because it is a positive value, it should fall towards the right hand side of the curve. Okay, so this here it falls somewhere here in the negative region. This is 8.825, 8.8225. okay, so everything here from here to infinity, it is negative, it is rejection region, right? So it will fall in the rejection region here, hence we reject the step 5. Last step is to give a decision on the null hypothesis, right? So because it is falling in the rejection region, we say we are rejecting the null hypothesis. And what is the null hypothesis? Null hypothesis is there is no significant difference. If we are rejecting null hypothesis, the only option we have is to accept the alternate hypothesis. So hence we say population average food expenditures are not equal for both the populations. Hence we say there is a difference in the shopping habits of the two populations. Okay, so if you look, we are rejecting the null hypothesis. That means we have to accept the alternate hypothesis. The alternate hypothesis is there is a significant difference in the buying habits, shopping habits of the two populations. Okay, same thing, since test statistic z-cal is in the rejection region, we reject H0 and accept H1. What is H1? We conclude that there is a significant difference in the buying habits of two populations. Okay, so this is how you check the you test the hypothesis for two means. Okay, so previous video we have seen one mean, testing the hypothesis for one mean large sample, and in this session we have seen testing the hypothesis for two means large sample. Two means could also be called as difference between the means. We are checking the difference between the means here. If you see in the numerator, we are checking the difference between the means, x bar minus y bar. We have two sample means and we are checking the difference. So that is why we could also call it as test for checking the difference between the means. Alright, if you have any doubts, please post it in the group. We will discuss further. Thank you.